Tonight on BashBots, it's the Wildcard Rumbles. With the qualifying round over, 15 desperate robots enter in the bid to stay in the tournament. Only one will survive and keep their dreams alive, while 14 builders will head home. It's the last chance to do or die. Tonight on BashBots, the Wildcard Rumbles. Hello everyone and welcome back to BashBots 2020. I am your host, Dominus Ignis, and tonight it's time for the wildcard bracket. Over the last 4 episodes, we have seen 15 robots advance to the round of 16. Tonight, the 15 losing robots of the qualifying round will all step into the arena. By the end of the night, we will have a sole wildcard to join the other 15 winners. So let's show you how tonight will go. Our 15 robots will split into 5 freeway rumbles with only one winner in each. The 5 robots that progress onto the next round will battle to the death in our 5-way free-for-all wildcard final, which will have our brand new hazard, the pit, open for the duration of the fight. It's time for the first rumble of the night. We'll be seeing Catch, Hondatron and Mygronic all step into the arena. Let's take a look at how they ended up here. Catch faced Yatagarasu in the qualifiers. In an extremely close back and forth match, Catch lost the judge's decision by a single point. Hondatron was matched up against Type 18. While Hondatron showed good wedging ability in the fight, Type 18 still managed to get under it and ripped off the flipper, ending Hondatron's fight. Mygronic was matched up against the infamous Thunderwave, and it was quickly over, with Thunderwave dealing a series of crippling blows to Mygronic, leaving it immobile. Let's send it down to the damn Beaver to break down the matchup.
Three-way redemption rumbles, nothing to lose, everything to play for, and 3 robots in the arena ready to dish out utter carnage just beyond for just staying in. It's enough to make me giddy with excitement. Parts might not be flying today, but robots sure will, as we have 3 flippers ready to charge in. Catch 2 lost in an incredibly close and still debated battle to Yatagarasu. Mygronic was absolutely destroyed by Thunderwave, showing that maybe the vertical spinner still has a while to go, so we'll be seeing the flippers today. And lastly, Hondatron had its own flipper ripped violently off in its last battle against Type 18. 3 robots, all who went out in this exact same stage last time, all of which saying the same fate once again. Redemption is at hand, but only for one, so who would it be? Let's go and find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! Let's bring out the bots. In the red square from England, it's Catch!
And the start of our wildcard rumbles for this fight is Catch 2, involved in a very tight and arguably controversial fight against Yatagarasu. Kept the bar spinner under control, but it is here after all.
In the blue square from the Netherlands, it's Mygronic!
Meanwhile, Mygronic over here was much more comprehensively destroyed, again with the interchangeable weapons array. This time they tried to match Catch 2 by going for their signature flipper that we saw in Season 1. Mygronic was destroyed in round 1 though, so it's a miracle that they're here at all. There we saw them with the vertical spinner, and there we saw them with nothing. How will they be after they've been cobbled back together?
In the green square from England, it's Hondatron!
And completing the flipper free-for-all, it is Hondatron, which is into this fight after being on the losing end of a very, very exciting fight against Type 18. Here we go.
So my strategy for this fight is going to be kind of hang back and let the others kill themselves and attack when they are in a vulnerable position so that I can get a pretty easy win, hopefully.
So my strategy for this fight is basically toss them around the arena, maybe throw them out of the arena, and just get my fucking revenge on Catch because he didn't do anything last year in the Rumble. I'm gonna knock him out for that.
I've noticed most of the flippers are quite low down, so I could be able to get under them and flip them over. Tom's looks quite vulnerable on the back, so I might as well aim for that as well. But Wither, well, he knows what he's up, or maybe he could have an interchangeable weaponry, or maybe he might use his flipper, but regardless, he's still quite vulnerable.
So our 3 flippers. The strategies always change when there's a third robot in the arena. These flippers are going to be on the lookout for each other.
Flip, flop, fly, which machines will die? As Catch and Mygronic engage, but it's Hondatron with the first flip of note on Mygronic. Equipped with that flipper!
and up into the
and
air it goes
being
again!
thrown. Good start by Hondatron here.
Oh! Hondatron takes off! I didn't know cars could fly, but there we go. We've reached the year 3000 and Hondatron is off and away, but it has come back into the midst of things, certainly the build.
Way!
And
A
it's
tag
ground
team flip!
clearance.
On Mygronic,
Well,
wow!
That ground clearance was getting exploited there by the seasoned Mygronic. Hondatron, maybe not as sleek as it looks, but they seem to be ganging up on Mygronic, knowing that it fell apart in the first round. They want to make it happen again.
This is an incredible start to this fight. Every machine is effective in some way. Mygronic certainly being attacked the most out there. But Hondatron certainly hasn't been without danger, and now neither has Catch. Really good attack here from Mygronic, but then it flips itself over and flicking up. Gymnastics, not a lot of competency, a lot of flying, a lot of flipping. Catch still.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, finally over.
Hondatron was the only one on its wheels there, but it was also the only one not doing anything, not really capitalising, but there's a big flip from Catch.
And Hondatron really struggling to get back over now and in a dangerous area. Catch trying to follow through. Mygronic trying to follow through. Hondatron trying to flick itself over, but again, not enough power to do so cleanly. And then Catch is flicked against the plexiglass.
And what's key is that they're all sticking around in that corner. It's clear that they see blood and they want to get a KO in this match.
Whoa!
And that was nearly going to deliver one, but the robots flying off in different directions. Hondatron still stuck on the grinder, taking a lot of damage on its way back down. That'll probably affect the wedge as well as the wheels that was getting clattered as we move into the final minute.
This has just absolutely flown by, and all of our machines have certainly flown through the air, to say the least. Who on earth will come out on top in this one, though?
Yeah, how do you judge this one? I think I need to get a tally chart out.
Whoa!
Per
Spinning
robot.
Hondatron! Pirouettes and another one! Mygronic looking to finish the stronger here.
We need someone stood by the arena measuring the heights of these flips. The quantity down the
Brilliant
could be out of the
flip.
arena, and that is key! Mygronic has got Hondatron out of the arena, and suddenly they are the key player in this one as they become locked together. Mygronic has got to hold down that lead and not get thrown out itself.
A little
But Catch
flip.
2 can still win this with a good bit of individual dominance. He's not going to get it!
And that's it! That's done! Brilliant closing stages from Mygronic. And the change to the flipper certainly did its job here. Brilliant stuff.
Well, Mygronic, I don't think we'll be seeing the vertical spinner from them again. That flipper was on explosive form, as were all 3 robots in this excellent bout. Everyone was a key contributor. but at the end of it all, it was Hondatron that went first, getting pinned against the wall by Catch 2, ultimately thrown out by Mygronic, and then Catch 2 followed shortly afterwards.
And winning with 2 brilliant out of the arena shots, Mygronic secures its place in the wildcard final later tonight, while it's the end of the road once again for Catch and Hondatron. Next up, Hospice, Outlaw Evo and the goalie will all battle it out for the spot in the final. Let's see how they ended up here. After winning 2 fights to qualify for the main tournament, Hospice was matched up against Polis for the qualifying round. While not making it easy for Polis, Hospice still ended up out of the arena. Outlaw Evo was matched up against GT Nihon. After tripping over a lot of hazards at the start of the fight, Outlaw's overhead spinner was no match for the wedge and drum combination on GT Nihon and was bullied around for a majority of the fight. The goalie had to fight Firewave. With exposed wheels, it was always going to be a tough fight, and those were the downfall of the goalie. Both double-layered sides being ripped away by Firewave for the knockout. Let's send it down to the Dan Beaver to break down the match.
Our next trio of plucky redemption candidates covers a whole spectrum of weapons, such as Outlaw Evo, the spinner which lost to GT Nihon in the qualifiers. The weapon sure looks powerful then, but the robot does appear to have a weakness to wedges, so... Well, let's look at the opposition. First up we have Hospice, coming back from the opening battle of the series where it lost against Polis, but it's still looking as cool as ever, and it's still a fantastic contender for the wildcard. And lastly, the goalie, whose double layers wheels sadly weren't the answer as they were ripped off by Firewave. But with the flipper running at full pressure, this fight is all or nothing, and the G-Wheels legend is still more than ready to save their competition hopes.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! In the red square from the USA, it's Hospice! In the blue square from the USA, it's Outlaw Evo! In the green square from England, it's the goalie!
So my plan is to fix the big anti-spinner wedge to the front and stay on Outlaw as much as possible. I want to make sure that I don't get caught from behind.
So for the strategy this time around, we've got 2 very tough robots. I feel like the main thing you need to do is focus, get Ginger out right out of the gate. That is basically the one that takes me out the quickest. And after that, just do the best they can to get goalie's wheels. In the end, I feel like this will come down to just driving. And I don't think I can do that as proven in my last fight.
There's going to be no strategy. Going to this is a melee, and they're called melees for a reason. I'm just here for fun, really. I lost my first fight. No big deal. Lost a much better robot. I've got a pretty much an outdated design, but just balls to the wall.
3 very different approaches. Goalie's here for fun. Hospice are fixing that big anti-horizontal wedge though, taking it very seriously.
Here we go. Is Hospice going to charge straight away? No, holding back. Slowly engaging. Clear the target here is Outlaw Evo for that big, thick, horizontal wedge of Hospice. Attached for this fight early. Oh!
There goes a chunk of it by the looks of it, but now doing its job a little bit better. It
Whoa!
certainly has, as it's thrown Outlaw Evo into the corner of the arena as it takes off.
And our goalie in the arena is hardly moving. Certainly Hospice moving in the air, and Outlaw Evo spinning and chucking itself around, and Hospice is now back on its wheels. Goodness. What a tentative one, but explosive at the same time. What is happening out here?
The goalie is playing this one like an actual football goalkeeper until they are forced to make a save. He was just hanging back in net and letting his players take control. But there goes a wheel from Hospice as it's turned over, and I'm not sure if they've got a key way to get back.
Wow, and then Evo's over, and Hospice can't move now, overturned with those 2 back wheels gone, and suddenly, goalie might be on for the miracle here. Just needs to get the ball and throw it forwards.
He saved 1 penalty, and he's got man of the match here.
And Outlaw Evo now is moving again. I was worried for a second. Is goalie going to prove durable enough one-on-one against that horizontal spinner? Here we go. Very slow. Come on, come on. Whoa!
He's found his way round the back for a big launch. That's genuine good driving from the goalie here. As Outlaw Evo is thrown onto Hospice, which has come back to life. It's way too late for you guys, lads. Yeah, he's just taken his place in the corner. No, he's not. He's come to interfere. Well, if he does land any attacks on the other robots here, that will, of course, be discounted in the event of a judge's decision like that, for example. That will not be taken into account. We've got to focus on the goalie and Outlaw Evo here.
And goalie certainly has paced itself well in this fight. It held back at first, let the other 2 destroy each other, but now, flames are flying from the done Hospice. And Outlaw Evo's over again, because of course it is. Goalie flipping again, because of course it is. Hospice just being an irritant, because of course it is. And that's what you deserve.
Get out of this, Hospice.
Get out of it, you're an irritant.
Oh, he's actually stranded on the wall. That is a second
KO
from the goalie, and it's going to try another one on Outlaw here. It does land on its right side up, but Outlaw clearly flagging now.
This is utterly ridiculous.
That full pressure flipper working wonders here. That's a brilliant little melee yet again.
There we have it. Judges, good luck with this one, lads. You'll need it.
Yes, so we must of course say that the contributions of Hospice won't be factored in after the point where it had been KO'd. The attacks it landed in the early stages do have an impact, but I think this mainly comes down to the flips that the goalie got on Outlaw Evo, because they were huge. As were they on the interfering Hospice. Look at that, that's your money shot.
The judges' results are in. The winner, by unanimous decision, is the goalie!
And with some of the craziest flips we've ever seen, the goalie moves on to the wildcard final later tonight, and both Hospice and Outlaw Evo head home. Next up, Joya, Panther and Blazo Discus will all enter the arena. In the qualifiers, Joya was matched up against Ursula, where it was slowly disassembled by the Tri-Bar. The fight went the full 3 minutes, but Joya lost on the judge's decision. Panther was up against previous quarter-finalist Cosmo. Panther sustained a majority of the hits in the fight, but got several hits back on Cosmo, showing that it had a lot of power in its dual vertical spinners. The fight went the full 3 minutes and Panther lost the decision. Blazo Discus made it into the tournament by winning 2 fights to show it was worthy, but their efforts had them matched up against Amethyst. Over the course of the fight, Blazo Discus was gradually taken apart by Amethyst right up to the end of the fight. Let's send it down to the Dan Beaver to break down the match.
Next up, 3 robots who each has very different qualifying fights, but each one is just as ready as the other to redeem themselves. Starting off, Joya fought a losing fight against Ursula, where while it certainly did lose, it took the hits well and just sadly couldn't get any further than that. But it's absolutely one to watch in this fight with these 2 spinners. Meanwhile, on the completely opposite end of the spectrum, Blazo Discus had a truly horrifying fight against Amethyst, where it was torn limb from limb and completely destroyed, but that is what these rounds are for, letting robots like this shine once more. Lastly, Panther had a good battle against Cosmo, but clear gyro issues stopped it from going any further. However, KO has told us in confidence that the issues have been fixed, but I suppose we'll just have to see.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! In the red square from Wales, it's Panther! In the blue square from Wales, it's Blazo Discus! the green square, from the USA, it's Joyer!
Yeah, my strategy for this fight is to be a lot more conservative with the spinner. I made a little adjustment, so we fixed the gyro problem that was plaguing me in the last fight, if you noticed. But I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to go up against these two robots. One's got a double flipper, that's really interesting, and the other one I'm not sure how good the wedge is. So I'm just going to kind of stay back, get my double spinners up to speed, and hopefully do some damage.
So my strategy for this fight is to first aim for Joya because of the sides it has. They look very nice for a bit of a pop with my vertical spinner and get a pretty good bite on them. And the dual spinner Panther has a very high ground clearance at the back, so my disc could probably go underneath there and tear it apart.
My strategy going into this fight is to try and make sure I get at least one of them out of the arena to persuade the judges that I should win this fight. I'm not too happy with my last defeat. I know I could have done better, so this is my chance at redemption.
So the eyes are first off going to be on Panther. How have they managed to fix the gyro issues from their first fight? They say they've done it.
One slot in our wildcard final is available. Who can take it out of these three left? Panther.
Oh, a good hit from Panther there. Like we said in the intro, the gyro, it genuinely does look to be quite under control here. It's not the most maneuverable or quick robot in the world, but it's ripped aside from Joya.
Yeah, Joya losing one of those sides like it did in the first round, trying to right itself now, but Panther looks rather controlled and menacing at the moment. Blazo Discus flipped over and the follow through too for more danger here. Joya in behind though, maybe! Oh, just missed its hit. But Panther certainly didn't, and rips away a wheel in the process, and another. It's Panther with the devastation out here now. Wow!
I tell you what, Joya seems to be moving around pretty okay to say they've lost one of their wheels. But disregarding that, Panther's still got the measure of them anyway with some massive hits. Blazo Discus meanwhile is out of the picture, but Panther going even higher from Joya's flip. Joya now trying to bring Blazo Discus back into the fray. They nearly paid the ultimate price.
Jesus Christ. Panther coming in again on Blazo Discus, knocking itself onto its side temporarily. Blazo Discus flicking against the arena floor, and now taking more punishment than the shard. Lands on top of one of the driver control booths. And Joya could land up there as well if it's not careful. Panther in behind and closing. Blazo Discus flinging itself about everywhere if it's still even a factor in this fight. Joya again over. Panther again in close with the damage and the flicks. Brilliant stuff.
I am most in admiration of the fact Joya is still going at it. They've lost the wheel, they've taken huge hits to their base plate where all of the juicy bits are stored inside, but they're still going at it despite the damage increasing.
It's totting up, and Joya on its side. It's going to struggle without those curved side panels as well. Is Joya finished here? Blazo Discus suddenly getting stuck in again. And Panther is in trouble!
You're not supposed to do that after you've been KO'd, causing genuine damage to the bottom of Panther here, despite the fact that Panther is well on top in this battle, and Blazo Discus is already out. Well, I think Joya may have finished it at this point. I think we need a proper count. No, it has managed to come back! Oh, if this was a different corner, that could have been a sudden moment of intervention, but we continue with the battle. Panther, I would say, still on top as we head into the last 10 seconds.
Oh, be careful, Panther! That's not what you need to do towards the end when the judges are considering everything that's going on in this absolutely mental fight.
A just about get right back up, and then Blazo Discus going back where it belongs. What a mess. So we'll look at the fights back here. Of course, we're choosing between Panther and Joya, the two robots that made it to a judge's decision. Blazo Discus already counted out, but all things considered, it did seem to be a bit of an obvious one in the end. Absolutely plenty of damage caused. Has to be Panther for me.
The judges' results are in. The winner, by unanimous decision, is Panther!
And winning by judges' decision, Panther secures their spot in the wildcard final while Joya and Blazo Discus are out of the tournament. As we say goodbye to them, we will show you how the final 2 spots in the wildcard final were filled. First up, Glacier and Stardust Crusader were faced with the daunting task of taking on the reigning champion Sparks. The fight started with Stardust Crusader dealing big damage to the side of Glacier. Sparks then began to chip away at both robots, quickly knocking off a side of drive from Stardust Crusader. As Glacier attempted to control the champ, the damage added up until Sparks had ripped the wheels off both robots, winning by KO and proving that his round 1 loss was just unlucky. The last fight of the first round saw Neon Terror, Navigator and Rumble all enter the box. As the fight started, nobody suspected what was about to happen. As Navigator spun up to full speed, the 5kg mini-bot from Neon Terror drove into the full-body spinner. Navigator deflected into the spikes where it was launched across and out of the arena. With only 2 Tomb clones left, Neon Terror managed to rip a wheel off Rumble and control the rest of the fight, winning by a judge's decision. And now we have our 5 wildcard finalists ready to battle. Before the fight begins, let's remind you on the rules of this battle. The fight will go until a single robot remains mobile and they will be declared the winner. The brand new pit will be open for this fight and any robot that lands in it will immediately be declared knocked out of the fight. There'll be no countouts on immobilized robots until 1 robot is left mobile. Now that we know the rules, let's send it down to the damn Beaver to break down this free-for-all between Sparks, Mygronic, the Goalie, Panther, and Neon Terror.
5 robots got a single win to get to this point, and we're just going to cut out 4 more in one fell swoop. In the red corner, and well, seeing red, we have Sparks, who shockingly lost to Crowmaster after it threw itself out of the arena, then went on and utterly demolished both opponents in a fit of rage. Our champion still one you never want to mess with. Next is Neon Terror in the yellow corner, who showed us all the power of a mini-boss after it took out Navigator, saving Neon Terror from destruction, so I think that's a robot that we can all call our people's champion. The other 3 I've already mentioned in the Redemption Rumbles, but let's take a look at who we have and what's changed. The Goldie in the green square defeated Hospice and Outlaw Evo, but might struggle with those exposed wheels in such a big rumble, double layered or not. Mygronic is once again taking on the vertical spinner configuration after taking out Catch 2 and Hondatron 2, showing us the power of the flipper, so maybe we'll see just how strong the spinner really is today. And last, but by absolutely no means least, we have Panther, which KO assures us the gyro issues effects, and Panther is at the perfect time to get their championship run back on point. This is a huge battle with a ton of variables, so just about anything can happen, but we can all be sure of one thing: this will be a fight to remember.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the wildcard final. The contestants are Sparks, Mygronic, the Goalie, Panther, Neon Terror.
Time to fight for your lives, you 5! Who's gonna engage first? Look at them all sizing each other up. Where's the hit? Wow, there's a good hit! as my Gronic is back with that vertical spinner and is being spun around and flung around, and Neon Terror flipped around. The goalie over as my Gronic closes in.
Neon Terror? I think they've been hooked, and yes, they've been thrown out of the arena by Panther. And down goes the pit. I didn't even know we had one.
Well, we're down to 3 already. My Gronic escapes the early shaky moments it had. And Sparks is trying to settle itself into this fight too, but Panther looking strong before my Gronic comes in to flick it over. What a curious...
I must admit, this is good for Sparks, with them being the reigning champion. They have
they've lost something!
On their backs. They have indeed. Like we were saying, being the champions, you've got the target on your back. You kind of want as few opponents as possible
my
to
Gronic
avoid being ganged
stranded,
up on, but...
and without the Shreemek, and Panther is dangerously close to the pit, and it looks like a clear one-on-one here now. This will tell us if Panther is capable of taking on the best of the best.
Yeah, the gyro issues they had in the early days are a long forgotten memory now! As they get Sparks up on the wall!
Can't quite follow through at the right angle, but definitely on top here. Sparks is damaged, looks unbalanced. Panther grounded! What a fling! Wow!
This is absolutely crazy. Sparks is well behind. We never expected them to be in the wildcard stages in the first place, but here they are. Possibly on the verge of elimination here at the hands of Panther as they get blasted in the wall again.
Panther just looks resilient and looks rampant and looks determined here. Sparks is shaking. It looks war-weary. It's being flung around. Panther closing in again as goalie flicks itself out for a little bit of a laugh. And Panther flicking itself up from the screws and then following through really composed and strong.
Clip again, but the Panther's got to find its way back over. Oh, just about manages to do so before Sparks can catch up. Narrowly avoiding my Gronic, knowing that they could knock that robot back into the fray at any time. We know that robots like to interfere after they've already been eliminated, unless they are the goalie. But the Panther!
No!
Lost its wedge!
Everything's gone there! The weapons, the wedge, Sudden, and Panther in a position of clear superiority has just absolutely exploded, and my Gronic is now back in the fray suddenly.
I tell you what, maybe the rules are different. This is a big rumble setting. As long as it's alive at the end of the buzzer, maybe my Gronic can carry on. I think we need to check with the ref as they throw Sparks into the arena.
Oh my goodness
here.
me! And goalie is now trying to move as well. Rules? What rules? I have absolutely no idea. Sparks has lost a tyre!
And they've lost their top panel as well as they take more damage from my Gronic, which was only kind of recently blown apart. Now they're really taking it to the reigning champion. But that 30-second absence will probably be costly. The battle has continued. Sparks is the only one here that hasn't been KO'd at some point.
This is absolutely ridiculous. My Gronic is absolutely dominating this one-on-one against Sparks, but whether it will all matter or not, who knows? And by the way, goalie... Oh! Goalie is still twitching in the background as well, but the main focus is still between my Gronic and its attempt to absolutely ruin Sparks!
Let's remember, the goalie's not going to leave his net. He's not a striker, he's not a defender even. But if the ball comes near him, he might go for a flip. He's still a factor, I suppose, but Sparks is skipping across the arena floor like a stone across a river.
It's absolutely incredible.
And it now hits the ceiling!
It's incredible that Sparks hasn't blown itself apart after what happened to Panther earlier on, but these two are still going at it. I mean, you can clearly tell who's on top. Oh my goodness!
But even then, as it's thrown onto the spikes, it's been impaled! Sparks, do not reverse and do not use that spike to deflect yourself away into the pit! It's getting so close! Oh, it's managed to use the grinder instead to rebound its way back into a safer part of the arena. It's clearly unstable. The spinner has taken some severe damage as it pops into the sky repeatedly.
Oh! Big hit again from my Gronic. Is Sparks ever going to cease here? Our champion is trying to hold on to its BashBots future, but it's gone now! Brilliant KO attack from my Gronic. Unbelievable.
The goalie is just going to put itself back into the pit to put this beyond doubt. Well, what a ride this was. Straight away, my Gronic was pretty much the first to fall. Thanks to the big blow from Panther. Certainly that was our first official KO, Neon Terror exiting the arena entirely. Then my Gronic gets stuck on the arena wall after some good attacks from Panther. But with the way that Rumbles work, if they detach themselves, they can come back into the fray. And they did so. They waited first until the reigning champion Sparks had dealt with the biggest threat of the melee up to that point, Panther. I do feel sorry for that team. They worked so hard in fixing the gyro and dominating this match. But they were KO'd, and almost on cue, my Gronic makes its return and just takes the blade to Sparks, making a mockery of our champion.
Who are we to doubt that vertical spinner attachment?
And with that, my Gronic is our sole wildcard and have earned their spot in the round of 16, where they will face the #1 seed. The reigning champion is out of the tournament, so we are now guaranteed a brand new BashBots champion. Tune in next Wednesday when the bracket will be revealed and the quest for the giant wrench will continue. We thank you all so much for watching and we hope you enjoyed the show. We hope to see you next time, but until then, good night.